Okay, and the last video I'd shown you how to get pretty much two pairs and solve all the center edges as much as possible, except for down to 2 or 3 that can happen. Now, you'll notice that I stopped the 9x9. It isn't totally lined up like the rest of the cubes are. And I did that for one good very reason, is that it's entering the next procedure, the maneuvers I want to show you for the 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 7x7, and ultimately the 9x9x9. So I'm going to go and start out with the 4x4x4. Again, when you're pairing these up, sometimes you'll end up with 2 or 3. And basically the problem is, obviously, if I go down and I match up the blue, then I'm going to mess up, whatever side I turn it to. It'll be perpetually messed up. So the procedure I'm going to use on this is quite simple. I'm going to break another pair, but if I break it like this, it's just going to leave me with another pair. It's just going to be, I'll show you just so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll solve this, I'll go over here, turn that, I'm breaking it, but now I still have a different pair. It solves one and then it's like an endless loop, you see? I mean, I can solve it this way, or I can solve it that way, to edge these up. So what do? Basically, if you got down to 2 like this and it's like an endless loop, you can't use the same procedure that I showed you for all these, and that's where this procedure video comes in, okay? All these other ones I got solved up to that point for the most part, but, and the 9x9x9 has this next problem that I've ran across, and what I'm talking about is that, I have that same exact condition where I have white and a blue, and I have a white and a blue, and then I have an orange and a yellow, and an orange and a yellow. No matter what I do, if I go up like this, I'm gonna break it. If I take this one down here, I'll break it, and it'll be like an endless loop. So I need to figure out a strategy of dealing with this, okay? So that's what this video is going to be all about. So, it's easiest on the 4x4x4 cube, because what you're going to do is you're going to flip these out. You're going to, line them up parallel so that the red and the yellow is going to be here, and the white and the blue is going to be here. Now, how do I do that? Same way I've done it in all these other videos. You just turn it to the back side, you slide that over, and then you bring that back down so it's on the bottom. So now I'll have, you see, the yellow and the red, yellow and the red, red and yellow, blue and white, white and blue. So now, if I do that function, and I go and I'm going to have to break another pair, I have to, you see? So then I'm going to bring that back, and that pair is broken. But now, I have exactly what I need to solve this. I have 3 broken pairs. And that's the reason why my procedure will work. You have to look at what the best alignment is for these cubes. And typically you can get 2 of the same colors adjacent from each other. Not always. Then you can get this piece done. And so what I need to do now is flip that around, that bottom piece, so that the white and the blue is over here and the red and the yellow is over here. So how do I do that? I go to the back, I flip that up, I bring that down, and then and then I move this back into position. So I have 1, 2, 3. You see it? 1, 2, 3. Broken pieces, or centers pieces. So now, how's this going to work? I have to bring the blue and the white piece down. And then when I do that, if you see, by having this adjacent from it, that will bring that piece up and it will bring it into place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the blue and the white piece down. I'm going to form that piece and put it off to the side. And then I'm going to replace this, now that I built it, with that blue and yellow piece. And then I'm going to bring it back over. And then I'm going to bring it back up. Now you'll notice when you do that, that solves the remaining 3 broken pairs. That's the procedure, again, that will be the same on all these other cubes. So let me do the 5 by 5 by 5 one. I got a very similar situation here. But the problem with this one is that the end result is going to force me to use another procedure, which I'll show you in a different video. I'm going to have a checkerboard pattern of when I'm done with this, you know, because I'm going to have to flip one of these over. So it's going to, you know, the center piece is going to be flipped, but then the outer piece is going to be like yellow and blue, or white and pink, or whatever. It's the same procedure. What am I going to do? I'm going to take the bottom off to the side. I'm going to bring it and flip it around, because again, I'm going to have to break one of these side pieces. So what do I want to do? I can bring one of these down, turn it right, break one of these pieces, bring it back, and bring it back up. So now, again, I'm going to have to get one of these adjacent, I think, so that the blue and the orange is there and the blue and the orange is there. And then I'm going to have to find my other piece that I shifted around. And again, just because I flipped that around, I need to reflip this, the grouping, center grouping around by taking it around back, right, moving that up, twisting that down, bringing it back, bringing that down. So now, what is this going to do for me? Oh, okay, I see it. So what this situation is going to be is kind of similar but different. I'm going to bring the yellow and the blue one up. I'm going to twist it, but that's going to be in the third position. So I have this in the wrong orientation. I can see that right now. And again, what I'm talking about is this. If I build that up and I move that over and I move that over, I'm breaking this piece, and I don't want to do that. I need to move that piece into there. So I'm going to rewind this and basically flip this piece around. So how do I do that? I put it to the bottom, move it up, bring it, twist it back, and then bring it over or wherever. But I need to get this piece back into position for what I want to do with it. So it doesn't have to be necessarily adjacent. You need to look at, you know, where you got it. So I'm going to build that piece. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to move that over for that one piece. Bring it back. Bring it down. Now remember, like I told you, there's going to be a checker pattern on this. And that's okay. I'll show you how to deal with that in a different video, okay? So, for the most part, in all intent and purposes, this, even though this checker pattern all the sides of the centers are solved, and that is perfect. So now I'm going to move on to the 6x6x6. Again, if you can imagine what happened with the 4x4x4, I have the same exact condition. I have two groups that are, the same, and no matter how I do it, I'm going to break another pattern. Except this one, when I finished working on it, I already set it up in the proper perspective there. So I'm going to bring these two down, bring that over. I'm going to break this pair and bring it back. So now I need to put these adjacent from each other, the white and the orange. I guess when you have an even number one, it's a little bit different. And then same thing, now that I swapped them out, I need to flip these over. So what do? I take that to the back, and I move that up, and I move that down, I move it back into place, and I bring this back into place. And now, if I bring, these white greens down, these orange white pieces will go up in here. You see it? So when I bring that down, I'm going to form that piece, turn it off to the side, and replace it with this piece. And then when I bring it back, and I bring it back up, now all the edges, centers are solved. It's a little bit cleaner than the 5x5 and the 7x7 and the 9x9 because it's an even number cube. But the problem that you're going to face ultimately, potentially, when you solve this, will be the same as on the 4x4x4. And again, I'll talk about that in a later video because it's too much to talk about right now. While it may look fine and solved, when you solve this like a 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube, you're going to encounter something called parity, where, even though these look solid, when you solve it, sometimes you'll have them, adjacent from each other, but in the wrong position. And if you've solved the Rubik's Cube 3x3x3 numerous times, you'll know what the pattern should look like. And when I do it, I just solve it as if it's a 3x3x3, and then I deal with the parity errors at the end. Because then, I know there's some cubers out there that they can just look at it and, oh, I need to fix that. That, should be flipped around or whatever. And then the other thing that can happen with both the even cubes is that you may solve it at the end, and then the red and the white might be the only two that are flipped around, and then you're going to have to flip them around. And so, there's two types of parity errors that'll happen on even numbered cubes like that. Like I said, these two and these two might be swapped end for end. You have to do a procedure for it, or the entire set may be rotated in the wrong direction, and then you've got everything solved except for that. And so I'll go over that in depth later. But the difference between the odd cubes is, of course, that I like about the odd cubes is that the only procedure you need to worry about really is flipping the cube that's wrong in the center, okay? That's, or not even just the center, but the edge cubes itself, you can solve it, and they're just flipped over in the wrong position, and all you got to do is flip it around, I think. But we'll get into that in a later video. So now I'm going to take the 7x7x7 and solve for the last two in the same exact fashion, the center cubes there. So again, we're not going to quite have a checker pattern except the middle one. It'll be identical to this 5x5x5 when I'm done with this procedure. Again, what I got to do is, if I solve it this way, I'm messing up another one. If I solve it that way, I'm messing up another one. So I need to flip these around. There you go. So I'll take these blue ones and then I'll put in these yellow and red ones and bring that up. Now exactly, I think what I learned, I need to have the adjacent ones, these yellow ones, like this, like so. And then again, I need to flip these around, the ones I started with. So now when I bring these down, I'm going to make a whole row, but then by the end of this, I'm going to bring these blue ones back up somehow. Or no, I think I need to have that. That's going to be weird. Because what is that going to do when I bring that back up? I think I got this wrong. I think I need to bring that over, and then, but I need this flipped so that that'll be on that. Got these the wrong way, I think. Okay, let's try it. So I'm gonna bring that down. No, I had them right. That's weird. All right, well, let me flip that back around real quick. That, and then that. Let's just do it. Bring that down, bring that over, bring those two blue ones, bring that back up. And then I think I've just undone what I did, so I did it wrong. I apologize. Let's try this again. Bring the red one, bring that down, bring that over, bring that back and up. So now I got those broken. It's a little bit trickier. I need to think about this for a minute. There we go. There we go. Turn that over to the side, bring that away, bring that back down, and I got them solved. And then it's identical to, well, not identical, but you know what I mean. I have one checker pattern there for that mimics what I got on the 5x5x5. I'll show you the procedure to correct that in the next video. But now that I've shown you that, I have to do the same step on this 9x9x9. I got the same procedure going on. I need to find the corresponding white and blue tiles so I can swap them into that. There they are. Okay, so you see what the game plan is going to be here? I'm going to bring that down, and then I'm going to bring them back in, and that'll form those three. So I'll temporarily break that, but that's okay. I'll get that. Bring that over. Bring those down. Bring that back. Bring that up. So now I got 3 solved there, but now I got this guy flipped around, which I'm not really worried about, because I think what I can do is just flip him back with the pair that he should be and find another set that's flipped over like that. So bring that over with these green and whites, bring them back up. Cool. Now I got that pair messed up. But I'm gonna have to do the same thing, the same procedure, you see. Now that these are, I thought that's what I did. All right. This one's kind of throwing me for a loop here. I think if I can break one of these, then I can do it. That's what I did. All right, well, let's see here. Okay, now I think maybe what I can do is get them adjacent from each other like I did. There you go. Just trying different things here. There you go. So now I got them broken with a different one. The green and the white. Now I need to find that pair. See what I can do with that. Oh, but it's going to be the same exact thing. So you know what? Forget it. I think let me get them solved, even though it's flipped like that. I'll use that other procedure. I'll show you another video to get them flipped around. It's kind of threw me for a loop here. Okay. So what am I doing? So no matter what I do, that's going to break that. There we go. I think we can do that. I had that in the wrong orientation here. I need to flip that back, flip that up, flip that down, and let's go back. Oh, okay, here we go. So if I bring those in, bring that over, bring that back down, then I got it. Okay. Cool. Kind of threw me for a loop there. So now I'm going to get the middle centers paired up. I'll do that in another video. I'll come back and I'll get all the centers paired up, or I'll make it a separate video because this one is kind of long. But basically, you know, so that way I can get them caught up to the way these look. You know, at least having all of the sides built, all the corner edges and stuff. But as you can tell, that's why I held off on this, because it had similar concepts to some of these earlier ones that you have to vet out. And when I'm trying to show you all these, I'm trying to show you the similarities of the procedure that is the same for each one of them. There are some little slight wrinkles, like we talked about, the checkerboard pattern on one of the matched up edges, or several of the matched up edges, but you know, that's easy to deal with. I'm going to make a separate video for finishing out the rest of this, since this video ran kind of long. All right.